Right, hi everybody. We're working through the diploma prep material. This is the trig chapter. And this is kind of an interesting question. Okay, I really like this question because it's a nice combination of two different outcomes in the curriculum here. Let's just read through this and we'll grab the information that we see as we come across it here. So given that the sine of x is equal to 5 over 13, I got to think about what that's saying in terms of my y and my r. It says where the angle is between pi over 2 and pi. Now, what that tells me, okay, if I'm between pi over 2 and pi, that means I've got a second quadrant angle. This is my x. Okay. And based on the fact that I'm being told that the sine of that angle there is 5 over 13, I know that they are describing a triangle where this length here is 5, this is 13. Now, at any time they give you a question like this is a Pythagorean theorem question. They want you to figure out what that missing side is. At some point in this expression, I'm going to need to know that missing side. And so that's going to get me, if I just apply that, this will be 12, okay, 13 squared minus 5 squared square rooted. But more than that, because it's in the second quadrant, that's going to get me negative 12. Okay, good. There we go. Now I keep reading here, and then it says, and the cosine of y is equal to negative 3/5. Okay, so I got to think about what that means in terms of my x and my r, where pi is less than or equal to y is less than or equal to 3 pi over 2. Now that's describing the third quadrant. So here's angle y, and again I got to take a look at what that cosine is saying. Cosine is negative 3 over 5. This is telling me this part of this triangle, negative 3, and this is 5. Now again, when you see information like this, they're trying to push you towards finding that missing side here. Again, that's just an application of the Pythagorean theorem, 5 squared minus negative 3 squared. This is going to be 4, but more than that, it's going to be negative 4 because it's in the third quadrant. All right, now let's keep reading here. Then it says, state the exact value of cosine of x plus y. Okay, now that seems to be like a bit of a jump. Like all of a sudden we're talking about a sum and difference identity here, okay? Specifically the sum identity. Well, the cosine of x plus y will be the cosine of x, cosine of y, minus the sine of x, sine of y. Now in this question, we know the sine of x is 5/13, and we know the cosine of y is negative 3/5. And now it should be clear why they gave us that initial information, because I don't know the cosine of x and I don't know the sine of y. So I come over my diagram here and I can take a look. Oh, here's x. The cosine of x has got to be negative 12 over 13. So negative 12 over 13. Come down here. The sine of y, well, that's going to be negative 4 over positive 5. Okay, so this will be negative 4 over positive 5. And it turns out when you multiply that all together, put that together, this is going to be 65 in the denominator. And that's going to be, what is that? That's going to be 36 and then positive 20, so this will be 56. So, whoops, sorry, you can't see that. So the exact value of this will be 56 over 65.